because tomorrow I will be married 61 years. Now, I only feel 61, if that, but I'm going to be married 61 years. I can't believe it.
Wow, congratulations.
61. Can we just all say
10 past 50 to 11 past 50?
can we just say wow frontwards and wow backwards? That's amazing. I think all my 4 marriages together might be close to that. That is super amazing. Golly, Gail and Catherine, can you believe being with one person for 60, what you said, 61?
Yes. And actually we dated too, so it's 63.
It's just not part of my life script at all to be, I can't make it past 11 years.
I don't think I could relearn another person. So it's kind of nice being with that same person, because then there's not that learning curve all over,
Yeah.
You are so lucky to be able to live with someone, because I just saw this interesting statistic. 12 million adults over 65 live alone. Majority of them are women. They make up 27% of the population.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
And in 10 years, we're going to be 44% of the population.
Living alone.
Living alone. And most of us are loving it, but I'm sure there are those who would rather be with someone for 61 years like you, Claudia.
Well, I don't know any different, but I love it. I do love it, yes.
Oh my goodness. You know what? When I think about that percentage of women living alone or seniors living alone, I really feel like it might be, and tell me if I'm wrong, Gail, is it because they lost their partner?
A lot of them.
Or is it more of a choice? Did the statistics say?
Not what I read. Not this time, but many of them are living alone because they're widowed or divorced or never got married. There are lots of women who choose not to get married and prefer to live on their own.
Yeah, well, based on the 3 marriages that didn't work, I can understand them choosing. I get that.
You would get that, yes. Yeah.
Well, it was never, I'm the marrying type, so it was never my choice to leave. They always left. I guess they got, they just couldn't handle all this ravenness.
Yeah, but look who you have now.
It's a lot to handle. It took me years to finally realize, it is a little bit much to handle. It takes a special person like Khalik. They got to be creative. They got to be entertaining. They got to take all this. And there's a lot of crazy that comes along with it.
He's very handsome too. So.
Yes, he is. He is. He keeps me feeling like I'm in my 30s, I'm serious.
But you, Miss Raven, you have a lot of heart.
Oh, thank you.
And you're adorable. So he ought to be just walking on in the sky for having fun.
Well, I think this one is. He really, we're a perfect match. And I think that's what it is. When we get older, do you guys feel like your tolerance level, definitely has a shorter peak? What do you think, Catherine? Does it?
Well, yeah, I'm careful. I'm much more careful about who I spend my time with and how much time. Definitely. I was just thinking about your 61-year marriage. And I have all of us.
You're not talking about mine. You're talking about her for all you. We're talking about Claudia, 60.
Claudia, yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That I'm sure many of us have friendships that are almost that long or that long. And I was thinking about what's the key to that. And part of that, I think, is conversation, that we're always in conversation. We want to be understood. We want to understand. And Claudia, you were talking just a minute ago about how well you and your husband know each other now, and that careful dance you do to make sure that you get together and make good decisions and enjoy each other.
And that's
to
what
me is the
we
nature of
call it.
friendship as well.
We do call it a dance, and being in rhythm with each other, and you learn that over a period of time. I mean, in the beginning, we were stepping on each other's toes, or we were out of sync. But you began to have a rhythm, and you can celebrate that and appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
And in relationships too, and friendships too. I have
Mhm.
a friendship that's been my best friend since we were 14.
Hmm.
And we've never had an argument or anything, but it's that same balance of staying in sync and caring about each other.
Right.
And mhm.
I can beat you, Claudia. I have a friend who I met when I was 5 years old. We've been
Oh,
friends for 75 years.
Oh,
I
And
wow.
love
I mean
that.
friends through thick and thin.
I
Mm.
love that.
Yeah,
I have a lot of friends, well, not a lot, but I have, most of them are from Cleveland, Ohio, where I originally, lived for years before I went to Houston, before I came to California. And one of my friends, her name is Cinnamon. And a lot of people, when they give me a call or they listen to the end of my podcast, they hear me say something like, at the end, how does she say that? She says, make it your intentions each and every day to get more life out of living and more living out of life.
Nice.
And
I like that.
yeah, she went through a lot of brain surgeries. And I remember asking her probably almost a decade ago, I said, even though you have these brain surgeries and you have to, sign this paperwork knowing that, you could go through or you couldn't. And she never had a broken spirit. She's always happy. She's always looking toward the future, never complaining. And her head used to just really, really hurt her. And one day I said, Cinnamon, I'm just amazed how you can go into, the hospital, go to all these appointments, deal with this pain, and you never ever have say anything negative except for, I'm not feeling my best today, but I'll be better tomorrow. And I said, how do you do it? And she said, you know what, Raven, I just make it my intention each and every day to make sure that I get more life out of living and more living out of life. Think about that. That's such a profound statement, to get more life out of living and more living out of life, And I asked myself, and and I'm going to ask you ladies in the audience, are we really making it our intention every day to get more life out of living and more living out of life? And if so, what does that look like to you? Claudia, I want to start with you on this one, because you're one lady, that I look at from afar, and you always seem to be getting more life out of living and more living out of life.
Well, I was thinking as you were talking how every morning, if we can remember to do this, every morning, as soon as your feet hit the floor, it's like, I'm excited to see what today has. And then watch for good things, kind of thing. So kind of have the intention to live full out. And I feel like I don't want to waste a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about relationships. I want to be building relationships. I want to empower the ones I have and bring on new, all of the things that are fulfilling, and then celebrate them. So basically every day, when I put my feet on the ground, I don't get there until my feet are on the ground, but then it's about, I'm excited. And I do this with my husband. We stand up, we throw our hands in the air and say, I love my life. And
yeah, I used to do that in sales. Love my life.
If that doesn't get your heart going, you do it again. If your heart's not pumping, I love my life. And then, it just sets a tone for the day. So
yeah. My husband used to say, when we be exercising, this husband, Khalik baby, he used to say, I love my wife. I love my wife.
There you go.
And he wrote it in the mirror, on my mirror in the bathroom. So every time I get, put my makeup on or go to the bathroom, I see this big thing. I love my wife. When people come in, the plumbers, whatever, they have to look at that. And it's been there since we've been married. So that's pretty good. When you said, I love my life, we started doing the exercise and we were like, I love my life. Wife, I love my husband, but all that type of stuff that's like giving yourself affirmation, right, for the day. And it does seem to lift your spirits, right?
Yeah. I'm actually a slow starter in the morning. So that gets me
you
going.
are.
I mean, when I do
I
that,
never thought that.
now the juices are going and I'm ready to go. If I don't do that, I'm like a slug. So.
Yeah. Well, I know I used to see you in the, what do you call it? It's not a van. You and your husband, when y'all were doing the
in the pickup, the motorhome. The
motorhome, yeah. And I see you do so many things. So I always look at you as someone that does that. What about you and you, Catherine, and you, Gail, with that statement, getting more, life out of living and more living out of life? What does that look like to you?
Well, right now for me, it's being in nature as much as possible. So, I've been spending the last 3 days in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, on a hill, a beautiful home overlooking the lake and trees, and just being in conversation with my friend. And he went back to the city, so had this place to myself, and it's different from being alone at home. It's very different, and it took me a while to kind of ease into it. But I love the I really love getting out of the city and being just where it's green and trees and water if possible, and that's my go-to place.
How's it different being alone there than it is being alone at home?
It feels a little lonely.
Ah.
I don't when I'm home alone, I relish that. I like that. But when I was here and I was watching the dusk and how gorgeous the lighting is at dusk time, and I'm looking at the lake and the little lights start to come on, and I had my wine and thought, well, this is really pleasant. But it was pleasant.
You wanted someone else with you.
I did. I really felt the absence of a friend or someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just didn't stay out on the deck as long as I could have. I went and watched old movies, 1950s movies.
Well, that sounds fun. I like getting to do that too.
I love nature too, and every opportunity I have to get into it, I love to be there. And also, I start my day most days of the week with a walk, so that I'm able to really just get into my head. I don't listen to anything. I don't mind walking alone. Often I walk with people, and so you just get into that social mood. But I really think you have to start the day with some routine that gets you going and helps you think about all the things that are good. And, you're here another day. Wow, that's pretty exciting.
You're bringing up something important too, is I think as we're aging, a lot of people give up their structure. And I think keeping some structure is what keeps us on the ball, keeps us alert, keeps our minds going, keeps our body functioning better. So I think just a little bit of structure, and not, because when I first thought about retiring, I never have retired, but I call it semi-retired now. But I kind of backed off of the structure and found that I got kind of not in the Claudia place. I was in some other place. And having just a little bit of structure, I think, and what you're saying is important, starting your day off with a little structure.
I think the little bit is the key. I saw this journal that was called Define Your Day. And I thought, oh, maybe I should order those. So I ordered them, and you get 3 at a time, and you're supposed to use 1 for each month. And I thought, my day's getting a little loose. I should really try to bring. So I looked at this thing, and I didn't even have to look at it twice. I said, I'm sending it back. A little bit of structure. That's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of structure, and that's what it was asking for. I said, oh no, this is not for me.
You can just get a Franklin planner and be done with it.
There you go. Exactly.
Like you, Catherine.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't. I realize I need to exercise, so I have to do that as soon as I get out of bed, before I even go downstairs. Otherwise, I won't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I go out and check my crops, my flowers, my tomatoes, my cucumbers, and water them. I love that part of the day of just being out. It's still relatively cool, leisurely, and then I'm ready for what's next.
Are you still back on the farm? You're checking your crops?
Yeah, I'm back on the farm. Absolutely, my crops. I only have 2 crops, but still.
We have crops too. We had a garden this year. The tomatoes are finally done, but no, it was fun to have that.
Well, you have avocados.
We do. We have the grove, so to speak. But yeah, the crops. Yeah, it was fun. And then you have to fight tomato worms and all that kind of stuff too. But it's kind of engaging and you feel like you're
Oh, yeah.
connected with nature. And for me, I took up drawing, a year ago.
Mhm.
So when I go out, I always have a little sketch pad with me.
Mhm.
The journal thing to me became a little too conformed. So, but the sketching, if I feel like it, I sketch what I'm seeing, and it kind of gives me a place to continue on in this creative side, and yet I have that way of catching what's in my day
Yes,
and what's
that's
in my day.
beautiful. Yeah, that's what I use my camera for. To
Well,
catch
and
what's in my
sometimes I
day.
take pictures with the camera and then come back and sketch what I can see on the camera. So
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of artists do that, don't they?
I have no idea. I'm not quite an artist yet, but
You
I
don't
am.
want to use that term yet.
I'm going to claim it. I'm going to claim it. I am. However, I haven't learned all the techniques yet. I've only in this a year, so we'll see.
Oh, and when you live alone, you really have to figure out how to amuse yourself and
Mhm.
take care of yourself. And you don't have anybody pushing you. Come on, let's exercise. Come on, let's go for a walk. Come on, let's go see this. Come on, let's go see that. There's just no way to do that.
I want to let the listeners know that their next show, and I think I told Gail, I didn't mention to anyone else, that we're going to start taking a couple calls from our senior women. We're going to have them call in. We'll have a phone number on the next show. When is the next show? Anybody have a date on that?
September
2 weeks from today.
Huh?
15th.
15.
Yeah, September 15th. So it'll be really exciting to be able to put a question out there, and then we will have a little something for the person, that first caller that calls in. How about that?
Love it.
Because we do want to hear from you. We're going to set up a line to where you can let us know what are some of the hot topics you want to talk about.
Right.
And, we're going to get our Senior Women Real Talk, Real Issues t-shirts and cups and stuff. And so by you calling in, I'm talking to you, the listeners that are tuning in on the podcast, radio, or TV show. If you're seeing us, and by the way, lady, let's wave to our TV viewers.
No.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
So that'll be really good. You guys like that? We can talk.
That'd be great.
Talk to
find out.
Love
And
it.
when you
They
call
can
in-
weigh in on the topics that we're talking about too.
Yeah, and to find out what their real talk and
Mhm.
real issue is. And I thought another thing that we will be doing is inviting a live audience to join us
Mhm.
and get them to share on the topics that we talk about too. We've been having great guests, and we still will continue to bring guests and experts on. But we really want to have heart to hearts. Don't you ladies want to have heart to
Absolutely.
hearts? And what better
Yes.
way than to have a live audience come in and to have our viewers and listeners to call in and let us
Absolutely.
know, because my real talk and my real issues may not be yours. Right?
Well, and we're always loving new ideas too, because we have ideas of 4 people, but to have ideas of 100 people, gives us
Yes.
a lot of traction. So no, it makes it
It becomes
exciting for
more of a
us
party.
too. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Morning time. So look out for that. I wanted to talk to you ladies about something that I ran across an article, and it was on a website that I never went to before, just kind of stumbled on it, and it's called seeingitclearly.com. Seeingitclearly.com.
Mhm.
And what they were talking about that caught my interest is the older entrepreneur. Is it ever too late? And I was like, oh my God, that's such a great topic, because, before the pandemic, a lot of senior women and men, but it was just, senior women show, they had jobs, and some of them had been there for 30 and, pretty much half their life or more. And then, of course, the pandemic came around, and they lost their jobs. Some of them loved the fact that they didn't have to work, and they got creative, right? Doing things that they love and finding a way to supplement that income that they were missing. So the answer to the older entrepreneur, is it ever too late, is no. Hello. They say it is
Never.
never too late to start a business. The data shows that let me see, the highest rate of entrepreneurship worldwide is the 55 to 64 age group.
Mhm.
And the over 50 age group is twice as likely to be successful. Now they notice they said 55 to 64. So
Social Security pops in.
yeah, but who can live off of Social Security?
No, but that is that age thing. It's like a little indicator there where people start thinking, should I retire? Because in our mind, didn't we always have retire at 65? So people
Mhm.
are starting to think about it because
Yeah.
it doesn't happen. But I mean, that is probably why that statistic ends at 64.
Okay. So then it goes on to say sometimes people newly retiring from a fast-paced career find retirement to be too slow. They miss the stimulation, the purpose, and let's face it, often the money. Many of them, it says, let's see, many of them taking avocation, something that they enjoy and have always wanted to spend time doing, and turn it from a hobby to a business. A lot of people are doing that, even things, simple things as quilting. A lot of them are doing podcasts, and so it says there's a big difference between starting a business at the age of 50 and at the age of 70. It says the 70-year-old already retired person is probably looking to fulfill a dream or earn some side hustle money. What's you ladies' thoughts on that?
Well,
Well-
actually, at 67, I left teaching. I didn't retire. I left teaching.
Mhm.
And then I was wondering what I was going to do next. And I wanted to go back and finish what I had done before I was a teacher, which was more in the professional world. Wasn't quite sure how to get there. So I kind of stumbled around. So I would say maybe about 6 months after I retired from teaching, I was trying to find my next step. And then all of a sudden the doors opened. And then I wrote my first best-selling book, #1 best-selling book, came out after I was 70. So, and then I had the radio show with you. I had this wonderful journey all through my 70s. My business just blew out. So, it gets more exciting and it keeps you alive and keeps your heart beating. And
Yeah. It's definitely, I don't know if I could, I used to think I could retire. I'm just curious what you ladies, do you ever feel like you're really ready to retire? Do you think, my husband always says he wouldn't be happy if he couldn't work, that, if he lives to be 100 or whatever, he wants to work and don't even think about stopping him from working. How do you ladies feel?
Retire doesn't make sense to me at all. As long as I have something that we've been talking, I want to get up in the morning. I'm eager to do it. I feel like I'm contributing something. I'm still learning new things. Gail and I started our business. Well, you were late 70s. I was just 70. And when I was leaving my full-time faculty position, I wanted to make sure I was going into something really exciting. I didn't even take a moment to pause, which maybe I should have, but I just wanted to really keep moving and be energized and not have to deal with those questions of what do I care about, what matters, what should I be doing. I had it pretty much at least the next 2-3 years laid out. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I'm doing it this way.
I've had a lot of transitions from one business to another. I'm a career entrepreneur. I went into my father's business. I was in that for 20 some years. I started my own business and second one. And then when I left, that was all in the liquor industry. When I left that, I went into
Liquor.com. Is that one?
that one, right? And then when I left that, I went into coaching. Right away, I began to be a consultant, a marketing coach, a marketing consultant. And then not long after that, I began to work with women primarily on their businesses. And so I became a business coach.
And a dynamic podcaster with your partner there. So, which
yes, thank you.
many of us have turned into a business too, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say at 55 is when I started my business, from the ICU unit while I was waiting for my mother to get well. And I was not, really planning on it. Although I was looking at that age for a way to get out of the job I had, because I just was not a corporate person. I still don't like a lot of rules and regulations, and you got to do something at this time. I'm so glad to have a business when I can wake up when I get tired of sleeping, and I can eat when I get hungry, instead of saying eat at 11 o'clock every day and I just came to work at 10. And I got to.
Right.
So I don't miss
isn't it
that.
inspiring? I mean, look at all of us. We're just going as though we're still I don't know what, we're
Still
there's just
going.
no reason to quit what we love.
Yeah.
We all love what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it's a
we just keep
difference of just
reinventing
surviving.
ourselves.
It's a difference of just surviving. I think we've embraced something that helps us thrive and then soar. So, and then I think that's what in your coaching and stuff, you try to probably help people move from just settling and surviving
Oh, sure.
to moving to more. And I think that's what keeps our juices going and keeps us sassy, is because we really are at a stage where we're more than surviving, but we're thriving and possibly soaring and probably soaring. So.
Well, look at us here, right on Senior Women, real talk, real issues. And we're building something new here that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I am absolutely loving, and hopefully the listeners are too. We'll be able to get some feedback
That's right.
from you starting next week. But yeah, I think it's a different era. Think about your grandparents and stuff, what they were, a lot of them were already retired, never working, and staying at home. That was their work, and taking care of their kids and then their grandkids and stuff. So it's exciting to me to see us at, in our elder years, to not be sitting in a rocking chair doing this all the time,
It's exciting to be creating something new. To have that excitement of what's next, and coming up with something new and trying it out, and being able to have the luxury really of trying it out. If it works, it works, and if it doesn't, well,
it doesn't. Yeah.
I think some of these things keep us healthier too, because we're engaged, we're thinking about other people. Everybody here's our focus is helping other people. And so we really, I think, health-wise, mental health, physical health, the whole thing, I think it keeps us in better shape at this age. So more vitality.
I want to say something about friendship too, because about mental health. And I want to just a really quick quote from Lydia Denworth, who wrote a fabulous book about friendship. She says, friendship actually is a matter of life and death. It is carried out in our DNA, in how we're wired. Friendship is not a choice or a luxury. It's a necessity that is critical to our ability to succeed and thrive. So it's a part of that whole
couldn't agree more.
Arena of how do we stay healthy, engaged, vibrant, contributing. And
it's a rich gift. Friendship is a gift. It's the richest of gifts, that friendship.
It's also saved me thousands of dollars.
No psychiatrist
in therapy, right? Saying. Absolutely, my friends. Yes. Without them, I don't know.
That's very true.
Well, ladies, here we
Oh,
are again. I mean, can you believe it? The time went fast. I don't know. I had to miss a good portion of it. It probably didn't go too fast for all of you ladies. Let's
oh
No, it
no,
went
we had
fast.
Terry. We had Terry to
yeah.
entertain
It
us.
went
That's
fast.
great.
Came in at a good time, and I don't know where or how, but somebody took care of that for us. We thought we didn't have a guest scheduled, right?
Right, right,
But we
right.
definitely did. So, um, any of you ladies have anything as we wrap up that you want to share? We'll take about a minute.
Yeah, you know what I wanted to share was, we started out early on talking about solo aging, living on your own whenever, and those 12 million adults over 65 who live alone. And I just wanted to tell you, I came across this interesting concept, which is only taking place right now in Massachusetts. And it's called Two Life, the number two life communities.
Mm,
And it's an opportunity to live independently while connecting with others. And it's not like a continuing care retirement facility of any kind,
hmm
but they have all of the resources available to you in that community, so that if you get sick, if you can no longer live on your own, all of they have ways of connecting you with who you need to go to. And it's really built they've gotten huge traction in Massachusetts. Two life communities. I wish
Hmm.
they had them elsewhere, and they're absolutely talking about expanding. It's just a fabulous idea. So if you live in Massachusetts, any of you out there, remember to look that up. It's got value for
It's
older,
also
older
happening
seniors.
more informally because I have friends in Chicago who have lived in their neighborhood for decades, and that's
Mhm.
what they're doing is they're starting to come together to talk about what resources they would need and how they can support each other so they can continue to live there.
Mhm.
It's not as organized as what I think you're describing, but
Oh, no, right.
it could be. Yeah.
This is
But it's,
housing.
it's because our age is the group. There's a big group now, and as people move from baby boomers on, or in the baby boomers on, I think we start to see things show up that are going to support this age group. So that gets exciting.
That's a wrap. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.